Unreal Engine 5 has been pretty much a major advancement in the gaming industry with hyper-realistic graphics, cinematic capabilities, the ability to create expansive and immersive game worlds, new animation tools and lighting, and of course so much more. Obviously, there is a lot of excitement surrounding Unreal Engine 5 and what it will bring to the world of gaming. And there are plenty of games that will be coming out in the next few years or so that are taking advantage of this new engine developed by Epic Games. So for today's video, we'll take a look at 10 graphically amazing games that are using Unreal Engine 5 and that are going to be released soon or at the very least in the near future. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. The long-awaited Stalker 2 is releasing on September 5, and obviously there's a lot of excitement surrounding this game. It's been quite a while since the first Stalker title released, but the next Stalker game is coming soon, so just a little bit more of a wait. Unreal Engine 5 has really done wonders for this game, because it looks absolutely stunning from what we've gotten so far. The character models look very realistic, the nature and the world also looks beautiful and realistic as well. Stalker 2 lets you play as a lone stalker and explore a post-apocalyptic world, making decisions as you go throughout the zone. The gameplay is set to combine first-person shooter elements with horror and immersive sim games. From what we've seen so far, it does look like it's going to be a very interesting video game, though it does seem to resemble Metro a bit, which has been brought up by longtime fans of the series, but either way, as a game it really shows just how powerful Unreal Engine 5 is with how brilliant everything looks. And for Game Pass users out there, this is going to be a day one release. Ark has always been popular for being a very expansive survival game with dinosaurs that is releasing in late 2024. The story takes place after the 5th DLC expansion pack released for the first Ark game, and it will take place on an unknown alien planet. For some reason as well, Vin Diesel is in the game. I don't know why. Either way, from what we've seen, which isn't too much so far, Ark 2 looks like it's going to be a visually brilliant game. Gameplay-wise, the first game was a sandbox survival experience, but apparently the second game will have Souls-like melee combat with target locking, blocking, dodging, and more. Ark 2 has a heavier focus on primitive weapons, and it will be set in a new alien environment with dynamic world events and the ability to choose to interact with things around you. It does look like a pretty interesting game, and it will be a day one Game Pass release as well as an exclusive for PC and Xbox, at least at the beginning. If you enjoy MMOs and MMORPGs, then you'll probably be excited to hear about Chrono Odyssey. I have to say, of all the Unreal Engine 5 games I've seen lately, this one has to be one of the craziest in terms of graphical quality from at least what the studio has shown us. The game is set to release sometime in 2024, but there hasn't been an official announcement yet for an exact date. Either way, Chrono Odyssey is an open world experience with different biomes and environments and tons of combat opportunities with customizable characters, co-op gameplay, and more. From the gameplay trailers we've seen, the combat does look very Souls-like to me, but we have yet to see what the actual game will look like. Either way, Chrono Odyssey looks visually brilliant, and I can't wait to see if it lives up to the hype that we've gotten from all of the trailers so far. If you're more of a fan of multiplayer experiences, you'll probably find the first Descendant intriguing. This free third-person co-op action RPG looter shooter looks stunning. In the game, you become a Descendant and are given a mission to fight against invaders to protect humans and the Ingress continent. The game is played through various missions with a story connecting them so that you can discover the secret of the Descendants. The game also looks super realistic with fantastic graphics and really interesting looking action. There's lots of missions where you're supposed to fight massive of bosses, and this seems like a really cool aspect of the game. I feel like this is definitely a game for people who enjoy looter shooters like Warframe or Destiny 2. The First Descendant is also set to release sometime in 2024. Not much is known so far about Hell Is Us yet, as the game is being released sometime in 2025, but it does look like a pretty interesting concept for a game so far. The third-person action-adventure game combines melee combat and exploration in a semi-open world experience. The world around you is suffering from a civil war and a mysterious illness that has given rise to supernatural creatures that modern weapons can't stop. Hell Is Us is unique in that it doesn't provide a map or quest markers, so it's designed to make you explore the world yourself and make your own decisions as you go. I'm curious to see how something like that will be implemented though. I've seen it get described as a Souls-like set in a Death Stranding style world, and I honestly think that's the best description so far from what we have available to know about this game. The game is also set in the 1990s, which is quite different compared to most Souls-likes, which tend to explore dark fantasy, medieval dark fantasy worlds. Black Myth Wukong is an upcoming Souls-like action RPG video game set in China, drawing inspiration from Chinese mythology. The game is set to come out on August 19, and you play as the Destined One in a story inspired by the Chinese classic Journey to the West. Black Myth Wukong has melee combat and a magic system, and from what we've seen from trailers and gameplay reveals, the game looks insanely engaging and interesting. I'm personally always on the lookout for a new Souls-like, so this definitely has piqued my interest. Visually, Black Myth Wukong looks awesome as well, from the environment to the character models. It'll be really cool to see how this game unfolds at launch.
Know what he's destined for? Those old rascals, they surely know how to name.
Tell me then, is my kind destined for extermination? You're driven by greed, not destiny.
So this is the face of the Destined One. It will fit me just as well.
Bathed in blood, yet preaching peace. Oh, you mortals, pray enlighten me.
Deathground is an upcoming survival horror game where you are facing off against dinosaurs. The game will be available to play either solo or with 2 other people, and looks pretty cool for fans of survival horror. It also seems like a really nice concept because it reminds me of what Jurassic Park should feel like in a video game setting. The dinosaurs are apparently AI controlled, so they learn from the way you play and can react to you accordingly. The world is also procedurally generated and the objectives are dynamic, so you can have varied gameplay experiences as you go. I think Deathground looks like a really interesting game with nice visuals, so it'll be interesting to see how the combat actually plays out for this title. Blight Survival is a medieval co-op extraction style game that is set in the 14th century, and it looks super cool so far. You fight against people and monsters as you attempt to reach the source of the Blight, which is a deadly plague that is affecting the land. The game takes place between 2 kingdoms that are engaged in a brutal war, and a strain of Blight has come about from the remains of the dead. Blight takes elements from roguelites and extraction games and lets you play with up to 3 other people, and it provides room for you to play from your own personal style, either through stealth or aggressive combat. I think a medieval extraction game seems like a really interesting concept, and visually speaking it looks like it'll be really good as well. The combat also seems like it's a lot of fun, so personally I'm anticipating this game quite a bit. Unrecord broke the internet when it was first revealed because everyone literally thought that the game was just real body cam footage packaged as a video game. Turns out it's actually a real video game that is coming out sometime in the future. Unrecord is currently in development and is a tactical first-person shooter that tells the story of a police officer from the perspective of his body camera. The game is set to be immersive and have a mystery at its plot's core. The aiming system will apparently be free aiming with unrestricted hand movements, dialogue choices that impact the story, and more. Visually speaking, this game looks insanely realistic, so I'm intrigued to see what the studio will actually accomplish and if the game will turn out to be as good as it looks thus far. Unawake is an upcoming tactical first-person game with melee combat, and it looks really cool from what we've gotten to see so far. The story of the game is that an archaeological discovery has been made on the grounds of some ancient city, but there seems to be some sort of hidden secret behind this place. Basically, you're supposed to go into this world and fight all the hostile enemies that are there. Combat is supposed to be fast-paced and intense, with story-based game progression, dark fantasy, science fiction, dystopian, and historical elements, and a war between heaven and hell. Unawake has more than 20 skills, and your playstyle is tailored to what you enjoy the most. The combat looks really engaging and high action, and the visuals do look really good as well. It does remind me a lot of Warhammer 40k Vermintide, so if you like games like that, I think Unawake should be pretty interesting for you. And with that being said, thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed that video, feel free to leave a like and subscribe with notifications set to all so you never miss out on a single upload. Comment below which of these 10 games is the most interesting to you, and don't forget to check out our website for gaming news, guides, and more. The link to that as well as all our other important links are in the description below. Thanks again, and I'll see you all in the next one.